dog at home. Okay, so we all know dogs make wonderful pets because they're very social, very loving creatures.
Come on.
They give and receive affection.
Opposite direction.
But she's all right. She's all right. I'm watching her. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there's so many breeds of dog have been around for so many years.
His name is Tiggy. He's very fast. That's why he's not down on the ground. He's faster than her. Gravy!
Hey, although they've been around for hundreds of thousands of years, they weren't originally bred to be pets. They were bred to be working dogs. And we have all kinds of working dogs still today. We've got dogs that work for the police and the military, seeing eye dogs for the blind, therapy dogs, all kinds of hunting dogs. Believe it or not, these two little characters are hard-working hunting dogs. These are miniature dachshunds. Now, the dachshund is a German breed, originally bred to hunt game on and even underground. Their short legs allow them to go into heavy cover and underground. Now, you'll often see when they're on the ground, she's so excited she's running around deliriously, but when she's working, she will have her nose on the ground because they're in the hound family like a bloodhound. They have an excellent nose for tracking and trailing scent on the ground. Their noses are so good, people have trained dachshunds to find lost hikers in a wilderness using scraps of clothing for scent. They've saved people's lives. These little dogs are trained to do one thing and one thing only. That is to go out. Rave! Come on, Raven!
Let's go!
Come on, Raven! We found something that smells good over there. Come on, Raven! Rave! Come on, Raven!
What's his name, Raven?
So they use that nose to find and follow the scent of a rabbit. And their little bodies allow them to go into the thick cover. Their job is to chase it out. Now I train the bird and the dogs at home and socialize them a little bit, so the bird kind of starts to get the idea that the dogs are one of us. They're part of the team. And when that bird sees the dog flushing gray out, it will leave me and follow those dogs. And I can stand back and watch them work as a team. The hawk above in the tree and the dogs below on the ground. Pretty amazing experience. Oh, yes. Those two youngsters you saw running around at top speed, those are our young learning professionals. But this is, what is it?
17 and a half.
He's almost 18 years old, this little doggy. He was one of my first dachshunds, and she's the reason I fell in love with the breed. She's a field champion. She's competed against dachshunds all up and down the East Coast. She won a field championship when she was 10 months old, and she was one of the best hunting dogs, one of the most talented little dogs I've ever had. And now she's retired, and she can't see and she can't hear, but we love her just the same. So she used to come with me and do shows all over the Northeast. She's done thousands of shows. So we're bringing her out a few last times to experience things. Okay, last bird coming up, folks. So our last bird is going to be the bird that the sport of falconry is named after, which of course would be a falcon. And here's where things get a bit different, because we've talked in general how birds like owls and hawks, and even eagles for that matter, eagles are really just a giant hawk, catch prey on the ground, mainly rodents. And again, there's always exceptions, but in this case, we're talking about a falcon, and a falcon, they don't live in the forest, and they don't catch rodents on the ground. For the most part, they live in wide open areas, and they tend to hunt from the sky. They like to circle high above. I'll tell you what, this sounds crazy, but above us right now are falcons circling that we can't see. They go so high we can't see them. Well, the other birds can't see them as well. With their eyesight, they can see for miles in all directions. And when a bird, any kind of bird, whether it's a songbird or a pigeon or whatever, flies out over the treetops, that falcon looks down, kicks out the moving target, folds its wings, and comes down in a high-speed dive called a stoop. Everything about the falcon is built for speed. They don't have to be very large, but they're very aerodynamic, long pointed wings, very different from the owl and the hawk. They can't maneuver through the trees, they can't steer really well, but they are by far from above the fastest animals in the world. Peregrine falcons in particular, they've done experiments with them with radar guns, and they've been clocking speeds in a dive of over 200 miles an hour. This falcon that you're going going to see is an Arctic species called a gerfalcon. And the color is a little giveaway to his natural habitat. They live north of us, Canada and Alaska, all around the world, above the Arctic Circle in tundra habitats. So he's white to blend in to the snow and the ice, so to speak. Now the exercise for the falcon is going to be this. I'm not going to use a rabbit lure, I use a bird lure. So here's my bird lure. Just an old piece of leather. This thing needs to be retired. I need to make a new one. But again, it doesn't really matter because I'm not trying to trick the falcon or fool the falcon. The falcon knows it's real. He doesn't care whether it's real or not. All he cares about is he knows what he chases and he catches it in the water. He earns his meal for the day, just the way he'd earn his meal in the wild if he caught a real bird. But I don't use the lure the way I did with the rabbit. I use it like a bird. In other words, I keep this lure in the air. And when she releases the falcon, he's going to come at me and try to take the lure away. Now, I'm going to keep the air, keep the lure moving, and when the bird gets close to me, I'm going to throw it out to the falcon. I'm going to get as close to him as I possibly can. But I'm not going to let him catch it. It's kind of like a game of decoy. When he gets close, I throw the lure out, I pull it away. He flies by, makes a circle, comes back again, and again I throw it out and I pull it back. An aerobic workout. Just like a runner does laps in distance, he's doing his laps in distance in the sky. And when the time is right, we shout his name and we allow him to catch the lure. Sometimes I can even hide the lure behind my back, and when he pauses above me, he'll do a nice vertical dive the way a wild bird would. So we'll give it a try. By the way, when it's time, we're going to give him a little workout first, obviously, but when it's time, I will count to 3. And when I count to 3, I'd like you all to shout his name the same way you did with the hawk. His name is Daredevil. All right, Teddy. Head on down, head on up. Stay on the high ground and go over here. Then he can come down through this alley. Now remember what I said about them not being able to change direction very well. So if he's coming at you at high speed, I suggest you duck. You stand over there.
Smart man right there.
Gotta have faith, folks. Keep going, keep going.
He's gonna run your pigeons, Joe.
Where are you holding it? Where is she?
See on the hood, Jim. Not exactly dying for his exercise today. He already flew once and he did really well, and I gave him a reward. So that took a little of the edge off the wheel. A little bit of his incentive is gone, but he'll get going. He just needs a little time. Doesn't help that mommy's holding him, and he thinks that at any moment she could pull out a treat for him.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God. That was close today, right? Okay.
And they have to flap their wings much faster than the other birds do because they don't have that rounded wing. They don't have the surface area. He can't glide or soar. I'm going to hide the lure now because because I want him to get a little height. This is an opportunity to teach him to dive. Rather than giving it to him low, I want to give it to him out of a dive. So on 3, you guys know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Ai, Daredevil.
Everybody, I want to thank you very much for coming out.